I'm Jake.
And I'm the last of the Mohicans.
This week on Nerd Bites,
Disney flops
he gets attacked by a weed whacker.
and loses. I lost.
Evidently.
And we talk about DC's Connected Universe.
So hold on to your butts. Welcome back.
We missed you.
A lot.
So much.
As we usually do.
Every week.
Who's our comment of the week this week?
Our comment of the week this week is brought to you by Superhuman Everything. Hey.
You win a t-shirt.
You got a t-shirt.
Yeah.
So everybody else remember this.
Because you could get one too.
All you gotta do is comment. It's below the video and then you type. Use the fingers.
This is how you type.
You hit
Not
the
like,
buttons.
don't do it that way.
I don't care how you do it as long as you do it.
Fair enough.
This way, that
I'll give
way.
them that.
Figure it out, folks. We got faith in you. You could win a t-shirt. Or
You're very
or other cool stuff. We're not even going to tell you what other cool stuff you can win because none of you will comment. You're only hurting yourselves.
Moving on from that little pleasantry right there.
I got upset. It happens sometimes.
I see that. You're getting emotional.
I'm getting very emotional. Moving on from that, we're going to talk
Why
a
you
little
do
bit
this?
about why you do this.
Why you do this?
Why you make me sad.
Stop it.
You hurt
Comment.
You hurt my feelings.
Read the comments. So
Oh my.
you don't have to be this way.
Why you do this? Moving on. We're
Moving
going
on.
to talk a little bit about Marvel and Disney.
Ugh.
They came out this
Yeah.
week and told everybody that in their eyes, Avengers Age of Ultron was a flop.
You know I made $1.4 billion.
That's a lot of money.
No, it's nothing. It's Disney money.
I mean, if you don't want it, I'll take it.
It's Disney money. It's nothing.
Please show me the money.
Yeah.
Give me-
It's a crock. It's really.
I was still lobbying for Disney to give me $1.4 billion. I didn't know we were talking about it. But anyway, they come out
Fair
and they
enough.
say this movie's a flop. And in my opinion, if you're comparing it to the last one, was not as good.
No, it wasn't, but it still wasn't bad.
By Marvel standards, from a money standpoint, no, it was not a flop at all.
No, not even
From money
close.
standards,
Not
no.
even close.
From a film standard, if you compare it to the
Billion
original
with a
Avengers,
B. Billion with a B.
with a B.
That's not an M, that's a B. There's a lot of movies that don't even break the B. They get to the M and they stop.
Some movies don't even get to the end.
But yet, this is billion with a B and it's still a failure. Not entirely sure why, except for the fact of it's Disney money and that's not enough for them.
Well, like, me and you talked about this a little bit earlier, and my opinion on it is, the way Disney's looking at this is from the first movie to the second movie, not as much turnaround as they were expecting, especially with the marketing push that this movie got. They spent so much money on advertising and marketing for this, they expected it to probably gross almost $2 billion.
But that's a Disney problem. That's not a movie problem. That's them not budgeting correctly for what they spent.
They budgeted correctly because this is the kind of movie that you would expect that turnaround on. So to say, pour that much money into it and say, we expect $2 billion in return when the first Avengers movie broke all the records. You expect the second one to continue that trend.
But at the same time, because you overspent on your marketing strategy doesn't mean that when the movie doesn't make as much money as you think it does, even though it makes $1 billion, you call it a flop. That doesn't really work.
To each their own, I guess, in this instance, because a lot of companies come out and they've had, you see movies that make $2 million, and like, that was more successful than I ever thought it could be. Then you have companies that come out, like, I can't remember off the top of my head any of them, but there's companies that come out when they make $400 million, and like, that movie was a flop. It depends on the company that's producing it. A company that expects more money is gonna expect higher expectations from that film. But the first, like I said, the first Avengers was critically successful. It was commercially successful. Everything about that movie was the culmination of, 3 years of films? And then for the turnaround, they only gave themselves a year and a half to put out the second one, 2 years. So that turnaround, they didn't get enough time to develop a universe further than they should have to tell that second story. So it didn't work out the way they wanted it to, I guess, is my best way of putting it.
Yeah, I just worry that with them not making their money that they wanted to make on this, that potentially that's going to ruin smaller franchises down the way because they're going to look and be like, you know what, Age of Ultron, which is a gigantic universe movie didn't make the money that we were looking for, and we pumped all kinds of money into it. Now we have a smaller one that A, is introduced already to the universe, and B, now we have to pump a bunch of money into that one as well. I have a feeling that they're going to be very, very restrictive with their cash flow when it comes to starting up those new franchises that they need to start.
Which I agree, but we want to know what you guys think. Sound off in the comments below. Tell us how you feel about Marvel and Disney calling Age of Ultron.
I'm a Logan type.
Why do you do this? I can't win. I cannot win. But let us know what you think about it in the comments section. Tell us if you thought it was a flop, if you even liked the movie, or if you even saw the movie.
Let us know what you think.
Let us know. Also in the news this week, we have got Jason Momoa, who some of you may know from Conan.
Unfortunately.
Don't laugh.
Oh my god. Why not?
You gotta wait to laugh. We gotta get to that part.
But
I'm not done telling them.
Conan.
I'm not done telling them what we're talking about.
Fine.
He came out and he was playing Aquaman in Batman Superman Dawn of Justice. He came out and said nobody, and he means nobody, will be making fun of Aquaman after this movie comes out. Now I turn to Jake because Jake is not a DC guy. Jake does not like DC. So what we're gonna do, have a little.
I hate DC. Don't give me that. Put me in that light. I don't hate DC.
He doesn't usually have kind things to say
DC
about
people. You DCers. It's like entertainers, which is what we are. DCers. I don't hate DC. I just don't like them very much.
That's one way to put it. What we're going to do today is we're going to play a fun little game where I bring up a character in Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice, and we're going to hear Jake's opinion on that character and the actor playing them. We're not just going to do Dawn of Justice, we will also cover a little bit of Suicide Squad, and we are going to cover the Green Lantern Corps and the Flash. But let's start with Dawn of Justice, because it's the big one.
Shall we?
We've got Ben Affleck playing Batman. Now, how do we feel about Ben Affleck donning the suit as the Bat, the cape and the cowl?
I hope he does better than he did in Daredevil. Because it was god-awful.
I don't think he can do worse than he did in Daredevil.
Let's not put that gauntlet out there, shall we?
That's a good point, I guess.
I mean, we're coming off of a Christian Bale Batman, which was probably the best Batman we've ever had, honestly. As far as actual quality of Batman and quality of film, it was the best Batman we've ever had.
I didn't like his Bat voice.
Bat voice aside, everything else is great.
Aside from when he talked. Just forget that part. When he talked, we don't need to remember when he talked.
No, let's leave that part. But you have to admit, though, that's still probably the best Batman we've had ever. As far as cinematography.
I'm big on, well, from a cinematography, from that standpoint, yeah.
Yeah, it's the best Batman movies that's ever been put
It's
out.
also very far in the future compared to the other ones where the technology's advanced. The best Batman we've ever had is Michael Keaton.
Why would you say that?
He portrayed Bruce Wayne and Batman better than anybody else has on screen. It's not just playing Batman, and it's not just playing Bruce Wayne. You have to be able to play both characters. They're two separate entities. Christian Bale was a great Batman. Not as good as Bruce Wayne. George Clooney, probably the best Bruce Wayne, the worst Batman. Michael Keaton, best of both worlds. He did an unbelievable job in that role, and I will stand by Keaton until the day I die as Batman.
Well, let's hope that's relatively soon.
The day I die? That escalated quickly.
I kid.
That hurt. Wasn't ready for that.
I kid.
Wow.
We love each other. It's okay.
Not anymore.
I
Moving
still
on.
think Ben Affleck, terrible Batman. It's going to happen. That's my call on that one. You're going to see it happen. That's my prediction.
I'm the opposite. I think Ben Affleck will do a wonderful job as both Bruce Wayne and Batman. I think he's going to pull it off. I think he's going to shock a lot of people, especially since he's playing The Dark Knight Returns rather than The Dark Knight most people are accustomed to.
I can't see him as an action character. I think that's probably the biggest problem I have with Ben Affleck. Is he doesn't portray an action character.
Have you seen The Town?
I have not seen The Town.
Watch-
But I've seen 99% of everything else.
Watch The Town and get back to me.
Hmm.
He does a lot of running around in that movie.
Running is not action.
He shoots guns.
I can watch a marathon and see running.
It's action-y. Anyway, Henry Cavill is returning as the Man of Steel Superman. How do you feel about Superman?
I think he's probably the most overpowered character in the DC universe ever. But aside from that, Henry Cavill's not a bad actor. I don't have anything against him personally. I make this admission to you and everyone. I haven't watched the new Superman movies, any of them. So
Superman Returns, don't watch because it's bad. And anybody out there who's like, wonder what Brandon Routh did to Superman? Don't wonder that. I'm gonna save you the time now. It takes like 2 hours to get going, and then it's over. You get like 30 seconds of that movie that's watchable. It's just don't do it. It's bad for your health.
Well, either way.
Kevin Spacey's in it though, and I like him.
Oh God.
Watch it for Kevin Spacey. I'm taking that back. Kevin Spacey's awesome.
Okay.
Anyway, Man of
Kevin
Steel,
Spacey,
I liked.
not so much.
Man of Steel was awesome. It was very good. You got
It's on my list of ones to watch. I just haven't gotten there yet, personally. Don't judge me.
And then, since you don't know much about the Superman and what they're doing with them, we'll skip past that one.
That's fine.
Gal Gadot is playing Wonder Woman. How do you feel about Wonder Woman being in this film?
I think they need to start introducing some characters into the DC universe because they're dragging.
A little bit. The only one in their cinematic connected universe is Superman.
Right. For every 19 moves that Marvel makes, they make like a step and a half and they're going, we're getting there. We're catching up with you guys. We're going to find you.
It's like the tortoise and the hare, except the hare is just so far. He's already finished. The tortoise is like, I'll get there eventually.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That's what's happening with DC. And they're so slow with moving, it's not funny. So they need to start bringing some characters in before they're
Well, that's why they're
water.
putting out 2 movies with like 50 characters in both movies.
Yeah.
DC
Never mind backstory or anything important.
We don't need to develop any characters. We don't need any development.
We're going to rely on you to watch TV shows, and then we're just going to put them in the movies.
You've read the comics, right? Well, then you won't get it. That's good for the mainstream audiences.
Brilliant! Good job.
Okay, Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
DC, why you do this? Again,
I think that's the theme of this week.
With the why you do this.
Why you do this?
Why? Because I'm a big Conan fan, and he destroyed Conan.
That script destroyed Conan.
Everything in that movie destroyed Conan.
We gotta, as nerds, we have to stop blaming the actor. It's not always their fault. Sometimes the dialogue written for them is horrible, and sometimes the script they're given is just garbage. Conan was a very good
sometimes the
case
actor is crap.
Momoa is a good actor.
Not,
Have you seen him in Game of Thrones?
I've seen bits and pieces.
He is very good in that show, and that's more keen to what he should have been as Conan. But at the same time, Game of Thrones has much better writers than that Conan movie did.
I hold a grudge from the Conan movie. I just do. You can't take something as wonderful as Conan and destroy it that badly and expect me to just be hunky-dory about you playing another character. It's just, I can't do it. I hope he does well. I really do. I don't have anything against Aquaman, as much fun as he gets made fun of.
It's so much fun in this Aquaman.
Yeah, even though he's probably one of the most powerful characters in DC.
He can go toe-to-toe with Superman and come out on top more often than not.
Right, and yet he still gets put down because basically he's SpongeBob. But
who lives in a pineapple? Who's the Aquaman?
Yeah, more or less. So, but in the same breath, he's actually a really good character, so I hope they do well with him. I hope they actually did have good writers and that he can pull it off, but I'm not holding my breath.
Fair
no
enough.
pun intended.
Moving on to the Flash movie. You got Ezra Miller has been cast as the Flash. I'm sure you have no idea who that is.
Not a clue.
Yep. He was, for those of you who also don't know him, if you've seen Perks of Being a Wallflower, he's Emma Watson's gay friend. That is Ezra Miller. He's the guy who will be playing the Flash. He's got a good look for a Barry Allen type. He needs to cut his hair a bit if he wants to get in on that kind of action. But how do you feel about the Flash coming to the big screen? Is that something you're excited about?
I like the Flash. I just don't know how much of a basis there is for his own movie.
He's got a lot of comics written about him.
He does.
He's been around for a long time and fought a lot of bad guys.
I understand, but still.
If you do a movie with him and Professor Zoom, you have got a wonderful thing. Reverse Flash, as most people know.
Right, I know.
But that's what they did on the Flash TV show. The first season was dedicated to Professor Zoom and.
Then why do we need a movie?
Because
you just dedicated an entire season of a TV show.
Because in that entire dedicated season, you introduced 17 other villains. You didn't just focus on the one-on-one between those two.
Get it.
That fight doesn't happen until the last episode of the season. So that entire build-up was for maybe 30 minutes. In a movie, you can develop both those characters over an hour to 45-minute, 2-hour runtime. and continue those stories on throughout time. Because honestly, Flash has one of the best graphic novels written about him, particularly in the past, I'd say 15 years, which is the Flashpoint Paradox, which is where you get to see Thomas Wayne and you get to see the alternate universe, how things would have been. It's like a what-if comic. It's unbelievably well written, and it's a very good comic, and if you haven't read it, go check it out, because it's very, very good. But I feel like with the Flash on the big screen, we're moving toward being able to tell bigger stories based around these characters.
I don't know. I mean, they've got TV shows already, then it's obviously not a singular season of a TV show. It's continuing on. So you have infinite amounts of time to do all the things that you're already talking about. I don't understand why we need to go to the theater and pay money to see what we could already see on TV for free. And
better production quality, better effects, better actors, better story.
I get that, but at the same time, it just seems redundant. You're doing the same thing twice.
I think we're going to skip over Green Lantern Corps because after Green Lantern, I don't want to talk about it. Like you hold a grudge about Conan, I hold a grudge against Green Lantern.
No, we talked about Conan.
You talked about Conan. I didn't bring it up.
Either way, Green Lantern's brought up now.
Okay, Green Lantern Corps is supposed to be starring Tyrese, the dude from the Fast and Furious movies. How do you feel about that? He's in talks. He hasn't been signed. It's speculation at this point.
I'm anxious to see what happens with it. Honestly, there's not a whole lot I can say on it right now because obviously it's not confirmed or anything of that accord. I'm not opposed to the idea. He's not a bad actor by any means. I actually like quite a few of the movies he's done. So
he is pretty good.
I'm kind of excited to see what happens with it. I wouldn't mind seeing him come in. I think he'll be a lot better than
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, unfortunately, I hate to say that because I love Ryan Reynolds.
He's better suited for Deadpool than he is Hal Jordan.
He is.
Absolutely. Which, in all honesty, Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern movie was a mixture of Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. I think every Lantern that they've had so far, I think that's who he played, which was really weird to just put like 12 characters into one. And gave him like everybody's backstory. It was kind of strange.
That metrosexual Green Lantern.
It was very weird. The suit scares me still. I still have nightmares about that suit. Anyway, the last character that we have to discuss, the Joker. Jared Leto's Joker. How do we feel about that?
Cautious.
Cautious.
Cautious. That's the best way I can put that. Honestly, cautious. I've seen some of the promo shots that they put out as far as his makeup and whatnot, and it looks like a gangster thug that probably needs to pull his pants up. But
get off my lawn.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the gold teeth and tattoos everywhere, which I understand you have to rebuild the character because obviously Heath Ledger's not coming back, and we have to do something new. I get it, but it's a completely different 180 direction, and I don't know how well it's going to work out for him.
Fair enough. Well, that's our opinion on it. We'd love to hear yours. Be sure to sound off in the comments. Let us know how you think and feel about all the characters being introduced in 2 or 3 movies. And let us know how your thoughts and feelings are. Remember to like,
comment,
subscribe,
share.
Because sharing is caring. Oh yeah, before we forget, I want to thank you to Eric Norwood for donating our backdrop. Got the Hulk and
He's apparently getting ready to smash my head. I've been feeling kind of intimidated this entire time.
At least Thor's not going to bash you with his hammer. That's what I got going on behind me.
Sweet.
But he's going to shoot you right in the butt. He's aiming. He's got this.
Yeah. Either way, the Hulk intimidating me.
And another little piece of information we forgot to cover. We went to Candyland. And it was wonderful.
Candyland.
It was glorious. And you should go.
It was glorious.
Tell them about it, Jake. What was the name of the place we went to?
Wizard's Wagon.
Wizard's Wagon.
It's here in St. Louis in Delmar Loop. This nice little Deadpool glass that I'm drinking out of this evening. That's where that came from.
And this graphic novel about the Army of Darkness, I got from there. Buddy Wall Scott. I love
just love the way that sounds.
The noise it makes.
What is wrong with you?
It's like Spider-Man.
He has issues.
I have issues.
Army of Darkness issues.
Yeah. Volume 1.
Seriously, check them out if you're in the St. Louis area. They're an awesome store, Wizard's Wagon. They also have a Facebook and an online page as well. Just something to kind of look up just because it is, like I said, it's Candyland. We didn't know where to look first because there's so many things in the store.
Well, we spent like an hour in there just
looking at stuff. Just ridiculous amount
of time. More time than a grown man should spend in a comic book store. But it was worth it. It's worth every second because I found
Absolutely.
Army of Darkness and I'm excited about that.
But that's it for this week.
So long, folks.
Bye.